Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charlie, 4BZ Truth, and I had a thought that the saying "a house divided will fall," or a house divided by itself will fall." Um, it's something that I was thinking about because of all the stuff that they're talking about with the recent changes as far as C-19 face mask, whatnot. There's all these things that we are dividing over, and the thing that I was thinking about was I'm not the one that divided anybody. I was the one that was living my life the same way that I always have. You guys are the ones, not you in general, but you guys as in the ones that decided to come along and change my path on how I am acting and operating in this world. You're the one that came along and divided us. You're the one that basically said, "Oh, well, you're not doing it right, so we're going to come and swoop in and try to act like I'm saving the day." But what we're really doing is dividing the nation. Now, for someone like me, I'm not. I was just walking in. I gotta say a couple things about this. I was just walking into a restaurant that I really like called Cup Bop, and it's a really good Korean style cuisine. And I started to walk up, and it said face mask required. Okay, so that's kind of the norm nowadays. And I thought in the back of my mind, I was like, should I continue to go to places that require face masks? Because there are people out there that say, "Oh, I just don't go to places that require face masks," which probably is the right thing to do. Yet I called it ahead and ordered my food, so I didn't necessarily want to leave them on the hook for uh, you know, the food that was cooked or whatever. But anyways, the point that I'm trying to make is that I didn't divide anybody. It was this quote unquote virus that divided everybody, and the people that are, and it didn't necessarily have to. It was the people that were driven by fear that decided to control everything. Um, I don't have a picture, but I was looking at a post that was on Facebook, and it was showing the right now figures of you know people that actually got C-19 and what the death rate is and the median age. Most of the people, the median age is 78. So they're saying basically, on average, the people that die are 78. To have somebody that lives to be 78 is a win, number one, because most of the people that I know, will say, "Oh, if I make it to 70, I'll be happy." But there's other people that, my grandma lived to be 92 recently, and on that side of the family, there's people that live to be pretty freaking old, like 80s and 90s, pretty consistently. But on my mom's side, there's a bunch of people that died in their 50s. So in my thought process, I actually am happy to make it to 70. Now, I'm not trying to you know, dismiss, people that might have died due to this COVID whatever, but I feel like the the numbers are going up because there's more people that are getting tested. But the part that they're not saying is that the death attributing factor, or how they're attributing the deaths, is they're everybody knows that the numbers were driven up because of there was people that tested multiple times, which they count as multiple cases, and just the whole system of how it's set up is almost to inflate the numbers. They're not being, it seems like they're being dishonest in a lot of ways, because they want people to be, you know go get your test, make sure that you're, and don't forget to wear your mask, because then you'll see. We know that masks are, it's subjective, because you have different kinds of masks. Not all are medically rated. They say you could basically put a bandana on your face and that's good enough, right? Is it just about blocking the moisture that comes out of your mouth? Because it's obvious that a virus could get through a chain. It's like a fly getting through a chain link fence, right? Um, you can't just put up a chain link fence in hopes that it's going to block flies from getting through. So, and not to mention all these, I touch my mask like a million times a day, and I know that other people do too. When they talk about medical field workers that are wearing face masks, they're trying to protect, the surgical field, or whatever that is what they call it. So they basically say we want to make sure that nothing contaminates the surgical field, and they're sure as hell not touching their freaking face masks with their gloves or their hands or anything. Their face mask is um, stationary and doesn't get touched, um, and they're fitted to the face of the doctor, probably. Anyways, so, and I watch a World Health Organization representative saying, like, this is how you properly wear a face mask, and it goes into how you're supposed to wash your hands, sanitize your hands, make sure that once you put the mask on that it's clean. There's people that reuse their mask and touch it and readjust it. Their faces are hot and they're like, they just like try to air it out with their their hands. Anyways, so it's clear that people aren't properly wearing face masks. It's more, I'm realizing now that it has nothing to do about protecting people. It has more to do with social accountability or social acceptability. People are just trying to keep each other accountable by reaming them when they don't wear a face mask. But the reality is, people are not being protected. The cases have skyrocketed since people were mandating face masks. I'm just saying that right now. Granted, there's no way to really hone in on the proof that it came from people wearing face masks. It has more to do with more people getting tested. But again, it's almost like ever since they mandated face masks, the cases have gone up. And now the deaths, somebody sent me a thing that said, on average, well, they're expecting 10,000 deaths a week. That's a projected number. But when you look at the median age being 78, it's almost like there's people that are asymptomatic and testing positive. There's companies that require you to go get tested even though you may not have symptoms. And, they're driving up the numbers, and people are just, oh my gosh. I mean, there's so much to consider, but, it's all just it's all hyped up numbers and hyped up, people just projecting their fear and saying, like, I have in-laws that are freaking crazy when it comes to, this whole thing. They're like scared to even go out into public. And I'm like, man, I can't believe that, you've been duped. People get sick. People are getting more sick even in the summertime. when they said that the virus was going to die off in the summertime. So there's obviously something going on. I don't know how this thing could be so resilient in the heat. Doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know, just a little bit of a rant. I wanted to talk about that. And I'm not the one that has divided this nation, but I can tell you right now that this nation is divided. And they say a house divided will fall. And we are heading that direction quickly. And whether now maybe the only reason we don't fall is because I've conformed by wearing face masks in order to go into Cup Bop. But I don't know. I mean, do I, boycott all these places that require it, even though the government's the ones that are trying to mandate it? It's like I'm punishing small businesses because, they're just trying to, be obedient. Uh, Dissension is the best form of patriotism. And that is a quote that I've heard from Jesse Ventura, even though it's not his quote. But it is true. Dissension is the greatest form of patriotism. And if that's true, it would be advantageous for me and everybody else that opposes the system of what's happening to dissent and oppose. I'm just talking out loud. These are things that are affecting me emotionally, and I feel convicted. So, I don't know. You leave your guys' thoughts in the comments if you have any thoughts. I'm happy to dialogue with you. Appreciate it. Talk to you later. Bye.